Hi Libra, welcome to your mid-July 2019 General Tarot Update. It's Rena here. Oh, I have these kings and queens going on here. Okay. I was going to say baby fever. Actually, even before I picked an additional card, I was thinking about something along the lines of mothers. So the Queen of Wands is the heart of the matter. I just noticed that black cat there. And I always mention this. Now I see that in this Rider-Waite deck they also have the sunflower. And this is supposed to be connected to Sagittarius, but I always say, why not Leo? Because of the sunflower, but definitely fire energy. And the feminine principle because of the queen, which can also be the mother or the... This is actually a card of the working mother or the career woman that is, can be a mother as well. So this could be a boss figure that happens to be a woman, and it's not something bad for sure. If there are any challenging aspects to this woman, she might be a little bit, the word hysterical came into my mind, but I don't mean it like, literally hysterical, but somebody who is a little bit of a drama queen, perhaps, queen. But also, I just get this feeling of somebody who wants attention. And so this could even be like a mother-in-law. And again, this may not be like a horrible person, but this person may feel like they have lost the center of attention. So for instance, let's say you're a woman and you've gotten recently married, and your new mother-in-law is, if not acting up, you feel this sense of, unease around her because you sense that she is, I don't know, like not feeling like she has a role anymore, like she doesn't have an identity. And that can create its own challenges sometimes. In the past position, we have the Three of Pentacles, and this is a card of, sometimes this can be a card of actually reproducing, so having a child, maybe pregnancy. The Empress is another card that I see, or maybe you're trying to have a child. Yeah, I see two things going on here. Perhaps if you're a woman, you're like wondering if you're going to have to let go of your career aspirations to be a mother. And the other thing can be about maybe pressure or dealing with a mother-in-law and how that's going to affect having a child. Like, is she going to try to butt in? Is she going to try to take over? Because this woman, she might be a little bit overbearing. She might be a little bit controlling in a sense. So there might be like two different possibilities here. The higher message is the Empress, and this card does connect with you, Libra, as well as your other Venus-ruled sign, the other Venus-ruled sign of Taurus. And this is a card of fertility, of the mother, the earth mother, the creative force, the feminine creative force, just femininity in general. As a spiritual message, I would say that for Libra, if this is something that you're worried about, if you are pregnant, it could be saying you may not know if you're pregnant, and then maybe this card is saying yes, you will be if you aren't already. Don't worry about it, or maybe you need to stop worrying about it and allow it to happen in its own due course. Maybe you're kind of making things worse by worry or something along those lines. But the bottom line is that the Empress is a card of the mother. And if you, let's say you are a woman and you wish to become a mother, this card, to me, as a spiritual message, is saying that you have to assume that role in your own right. In other words, I don't think anybody has business having a child if they do not have that sense of empowerment, and they're going to allow somebody else to push them around. Because in order to be a good role model to your child, you have to kind of model self-esteem, and I mean just basic self-esteem and autonomy and things like that. And you can't be somebody who's very wishy-washy and afraid to assert yourself. And the Queen of Wands can be a strong, overpowering character. Okay, I mean, like I said, they say that this card is associated with Sagittarius. Being a Sagittarian woman myself, I don't think that this card really represents Sag. Hopefully there are no Leos watching this, but I do think that this is more likely to represent the Leo type of an energy, of the kind of the diva, and if this is like a mother-in-law who is like trying to reassert her place in her son's life. And another thing too that I want to say is that if you are with somebody, and the sign Cancer just came into my mind, Libra, because Cancer men have a reputation of being mama's boys. But any type of man, if you are with somebody who allows his mother to interfere in your relationship, don't take it out on the mother-in-law. You've got a problem with him. And that's who you should focus all your attention on and really get that cleaned up, especially if you are trying to have a child. If you're already pregnant, then you're going to have to do damage control in terms of dealing with these problems after the fact. But if you haven't conceived yet, then you still have time to iron this out, because you may not be with the right person if they're not going to take your side. Doesn't mean that you're always right, but you can't be with somebody who's going to allow his mother to triangulate. That's not okay. So these are all potential scenarios. I do get some people that have made comments to me, why are you talking about giving birth? I'm past the age and blah blah blah. And I totally get that, and I don't mean to leave anybody out. But even though these are general readings, I just go with my gut and what seems right to focus on. And maybe this particular reading isn't for you if you don't relate to some of these ideas. The card that crosses you is the King of Wands. So this is again what I was saying before. Now we have the Queen, and the King isn't exactly helping matters. So that could be your father-in-law. So maybe you have narcissistic in-laws. And maybe the father, maybe the mother is almost like the covert narcissist and the father is the overt narcissist. Or it could be, the other way around, and he's kind of the enabler. He's the covert narcissist, and he allows her to get away with her nonsense. Who knows? But you may be dealing with a mother and father-in-law that are not supportive of you. This can also be, again, that you're with somebody who's going to be the father of your child, and they need to get it together. Maybe they're kowtowing too much to this Queen of Wands, and that's going to set the stage for further problems, complications. The advice is the Five of Swords. This is a card of deception. And you notice that there are other people in the mix here. So again, you may be the victim of slander. One of the things that can happen in these types of scenarios is that one person is playing the others. This could be happening on multiple fronts. You could have the Queen of Wands talking about you to your husband, triangulation, saying things are untrue or distorting your messages to her and making herself out to be the victim, and then your husband turns against you. This could be your husband, and I'm sorry that I'm focusing on genders here. I mean, this could very easily go the other way around, where you're a male and the Queen of Wands is your mother-in-law, as a man to your mother-in-law. But in any case, whoever you are, your spouse could be also participating in this and receiving some kind of what we call supply, or that kind of a emotional reaction that they rely upon to feel important in life. It's a negative kind of a pattern. And so, the bottom line is, if you feel like there's a lot of he said, she said stuff going on, if he's carrying tales, and this is something that I have found out the hard way after many years, when somebody comes up to you and tells you what somebody else has said about you, usually, to me, that is suspect on that person's part. They may act like, oh, they're trying to help you in some way, but a lot of times I feel like that's part of the game too, is to say something hurtful, but another person said it, so it's not really that person's fault. You know what I'm saying? And the person who's carrying the gossip or the negative message. And I wouldn't trust that person either, that person who is telling you all the bad things that people are saying. There are exceptions to that, obviously, because sometimes people are really concerned that a person is tearing down somebody in private that they are being nice to in public. I mean, sometimes if you really know the person you're dealing with, they are doing so on your behalf, but sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're part of the problem. And you don't even know if it's true, if what they're saying is half-truths or totally distorted, because they might be trying to get you to say something nasty about that other person too, so that they can run and tell that. So that's just kind of like, if you feel like you're in this kind of a scenario where everybody is kind of like attacking each other in kind of covert ways, that's an unhealthy situation. And yeah, I mean, even in this reading, in the past position, I got the Three of Pentacles, so it's almost like this triangulation. I got 2 3s. In the outcome, the Page of Cups, this could be a baby, either news, pages can be news about that you're pregnant or that your spouse is pregnant. It's associated with Pisces, so perhaps that's even timing issues, which is, there's a Pisces full moon in September, so maybe that could be the timing if there's any kind of a baby news or something like that. But regardless of what is going on here, I mean, maybe it could be a truce. Maybe there's you can have a new relationship with these people. Maybe there's just been a lot of miscommunication. And actually, at the end of right now, as I'm recording this, we have Mercury retrograde until the last day of the month. So maybe there's some kind of misunderstanding that is creating a lot of tension, but it doesn't have to be that way, So that's what I have for you, and I hope that you enjoyed this, Libra. If you would like a a personal reading, you can visit me at rainandmoonastrology.com, and the link is below from my site. Take care. Bye.